Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And in the fourth round, at pick 108 in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders are selecting wide receiver from Tennessee, Dont'e Thornton Jr. If you're somebody that believes that this Raiders team has something in mind, this is going to be one of those picks that you go, you know what? The Raiders clearly have a plan, and they are executing this plan phenomenally. This is a pick to make sure that Ashton Jeany is worth every single dollar of that $32 million that you gave him when you ended up drafting him at number 6 overall. Thornton last season on Tennessee, 26 catches, 661 yards, 6 touchdowns, 6'4", 205 pounds. He runs a 4.3 40. Al Davis right now is looking down and he is smiling, because if you just want to talk about pure athletes, one of the best pure athletes in this year's draft at wide receiver, Dont'e Thornton Jr. When you're 6'5" and you run a 4.3 and you have a broad jump of 10.6, you're going to be able to go up. You're going to be able to get the football. The reason why, now Tom is a little bit lower on him, and I need you guys to look at this from a Raiders standpoint. You draft Ashton Jeany at number 6. You get a really good wide receiver in Bech that loves to be able to block. Now, I don't care what any Raider fan says. The number one thing that our wide receiver room was lacking, speed. Now you add a true speedster that can really take the top off of a defense with Trey Tucker, and what that does is it doesn't allow teams to stack the box. You know teams are going to want to try to stack the box against Ashton Jeany. Well, here's the problem. Now you're not going to be able to do it because you got Trey Tucker, 4.3 speed. You got Thornton, legit 4.3 speed, and if you do stack the box, we're going to be able to beat you deep. If you don't stack the box, Ashton Jeany's going to run the ball down your freaking throat. I'll also say the other interesting part about this is I think that you're going to see Trey Tucker now really be used a little bit more heavily in the kick return and the punt return game. Max Crosby one time told me that he thought pound for pound, one of the toughest players on the Raiders team was Trey Tucker. He's got a wrestling background, and you got to be a tough mother effer to play special teams, kick return, punt return. If I'm the Raiders, I'm sitting up here going right now that I believe the Raiders' top 3 receivers, Jakobi Meyers, Jack Bech, Dont'e Thornton Jr., they're still going to use Trey Tucker, obviously, but now I believe Trey Tucker is going to be used a little bit more on special teams. Do you like the moves the Raiders have made so far? Give me a yes. Give me a no. This is going to be the pinned comment here on today's show. While you're getting hit with that YouTube ad break, I want you to scroll on down and please give me your answer. I do like the Raiders' move so far because they have a plan in mind. And every single pick that this team has made on the offensive side of the football is telling you they want Ashton Jeany to be that dude. If you're going to take a running back at number 6 overall, you're hoping that he can be the offensive rookie of the year. So you take a wide receiver, Jack Bech, it's going to make Ashton Jeany better. You take 2 offensive linemen that are just going to help the overall depth because, again, God forbid if an injury happens, a lot of injuries happened last season of the Raiders, you still need to have a really good offensive line because this team's going to want to run the football. And now you got somebody that's going to be able to take the top off of every single defense. I mean, you're talking about a receiver, y'all, that averaged 21.9 yards per catch in college football. He is a good deep ball catcher. He does have some drop issues. He's definitely got some concentration issues, no doubt about it. But Geno Smith, statistically, was the number 1 quarterback in the NFL last season in terms of explosive throws. Explosive throws are 40 yards down the field. Geno Smith, number 1 quarterback in the NFL in explosive throws. You got Dont'e Thornton Jr. I think the upside in him is just unbelievable. I would say, I think Pete Carroll did this because he said, you know what? We couldn't get a DK Metcalf. But if I can get a 6'5" phenomenal athlete, I'm going to be able to use his speed, and I'm going to be able to stretch this guy down the field. This is a really good football move because what matters is Raiders win the football games, and Thornton makes the Raiders overall better because taking the top off of defense with Ashton Jeany. I'm sweating right now, and I got a shout out for Mando, today's sponsor here on the Raiders Report. If you're sweating like me, you can control body odor anywhere with Mando, and new customers are going to get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code chat at shopmando.com. That's SHOPMANDO.com. Spring is in the air. It's warming up, which means Chuck walks, Alex date nights, and me prepping for my wedding in June. Mando controls odor for 72 hours. It's clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, the average man's Grundle odor level was a 5 out of 10. With Mando, the average Grundle odor level was a 0 out of 10. I like using Mando because I sweat literally all the time, and because it's a full-body deodorant, I can take it with me on the go. I can use it on my pits. Spam package down below. Spam Grundle down below. Spam your balls down below, because you can use it on your belly button, your butt cracks, stinky crevices, stomach, folds, feet. I don't care where it is. You can use it. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code chat at shopmando.com. That's SHOPMANDO.com. Please support our show. Tell them that we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with a little bit of Mando. So with the Raiders going wide receiver, they've already taken 2 wide receivers in the 2025 NFL Draft. Now we're sitting up here, we're going, what position on the Raiders still worries you? And I ask this because what are some of the other needs that this organization has that we still have the potential to go out and draft? The Raiders have another pick here in the 4th round at 135. No picks in the 5th round, then you're at 180. 213, 215, and 222. I'm still looking at linebacker. I think linebacker is a position that this organization needs to consider. Danny Stutzman, Jeffrey Bossa, Barrett Carter. Watch out for somebody also like a Chris Paul to keep in mind. Cody Simon is another name that I'm going to throw out there. Safety is still a need for this team. Billy Bowman Jr., the number one name that I'm going to say, Malachi Moore. The Raiders really do like Malachi Moore. They like his versatility, especially to be able to use him in the nickel. Definitely a player to keep in mind there. I think even along the lines of defensive tackle, this is a team that's been looking for a big body up the middle. Maybe they look at a Joshua Farmer. Maybe they look at, is this Peebles? Peebles here from Virginia Tech. It's been a name that I was mentioned before. Cam Jackson, really, really big guy. Yahya Black, defensive tackle from Iowa, will be another name that I will throw out there in terms of a top 30 visit for the Las Vegas Raiders. They're looking for a nose tackle. They're looking for a gigantic human being on the interior. But I also know this. A lot of y'all are going to be asking about quarterback because Shedeur Sanders is still on the board, and the Raiders have proved to you yet again that they're willing to pass on him. And I'm not afraid to admit it. And I hate that I even have to say, I'm not afraid to admit it. If you want to take a Shedeur Sanders, guy with a chip on his shoulder, somebody that has that I'm going to prove you wrong mentality working with Tom Brady, I don't think that it's a bad pick. I will say this, though. If you were to ask me some other players that I would like for the Raiders to get, I think a Jack Sawyer would be a really, really good player that the Raiders could go out and get because he's just a hell of a football player overall. Maybe even somebody along the lines of, I think Will Howard's going to be a name that they could keep in mind today. I think somebody also along the lines of Quinn Ewers is going to be somebody. Quincy Riley is a corner who plays really physical that I do know that this team has at least kept a little bit of an eye on. Gunnar Helm was a name that was thrown out to me probably about 2 weeks ago that said if the Raiders are serious about trading Michael Mayer, they're going to draft Gunnar Helm. Texas guy, Steve Sarkisian connections. We'll see what this team ends up doing, but man, oh man, we still got 6 picks left here, and I am really excited about the Dont'e Thornton move. He is really, really, really good athlete, and I can't wait to see how he's going to be able to work and how he's going to be able to help Ashton Jeany. Dont'e Thornton, welcome to the nation. That's an Al Davis pick if I've ever seen one.